All right. Okay. So let's crack on. We've talked about uniforms. I like the cut to the interview sequence
It's my
there.
last year of sixth form. Just hoping to look for some new.
Like the way those slide off. That's nice.
I'm really excited to be joining this crack team of students. It's been an ambition of mine and my mum's since about year 7.
I love that. It's been an ambition of mine and my mum's, which I think is a lovely technique. Another lovely thing about the interview setup is that you can get real insight into the character. Normally in a drama, narrative drama, people don't stop and explain their motivations and how they're feeling. But the interview gives you that perfect opportunity to allow us to have insight into him and his motivation. And that lovely little throwaway at my mum's, establishes that from the beginning, which is obviously a joke you're going to play on the whole way through, which I really well done there, I think, scripting-wise.
Natural leader though, so I think it should be fun.
Hi Barry, take care. All day, every afternoon. Really
Okay.
look forward to time that you're punctual to a start to say, but
Okay, so your first duties.
Okay, so that transition there, what transition did you use and why?
I'm pretty sure it was a crossfade or as a film dissolve to a up to white, and I thought, because I wanted to have the end of that clip there, but where the footage had ended, they'd broken character after that, and actually, because me and the other actors were sitting behind the camera watching this happen, we all started laughing at Matcha going, "Oh, I've spat on you there."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's just cut this. But
No, I like it. I like that he kind of rubs it off. I think collaboratively, something to really learn is that doing a comedy and this sort of stuff, discipline on set is really important, because I bet you that happened quite a lot. That people were laughing off camera.
Mainly in this next scene,
Just
which is
Yeah.
coming up after.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. I was watching this last night, and this is beat, but it's not going to be the whole thing.
what is that beat for?
It's not going to be there. It was just, I think it's the reference on using the other beats
Yeah,
when
I
he's
think
swearing.
I think
Oh, I
it's
see.
just been cutting bits out of that. And
So
moving
now,
on.
final edit, we're going to get rid of that beat
Yeah.
there, because actually the beat works really well
Mhm.
when they're swearing. Okay.
They have to have their uniform, their shirt tucked in.
I think he's going to need to that dialogue there. I think needs work. It's just a little bit too quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's quite important with this character.
I think we're gonna add some ambient sound to that as well, because the sound of the lavalier mics is very focused in on just the dialogue,
Yeah,
and there's
I
nothing
agree. I
behind
think
that.
you need something beneath that. So yeah, agreed. So a little bit of ambient. We're going to get rid of the beep, and also I'd quite like to sharpen up or push the levels of that. What you can do is either just amplify it or change the gain. If he goes into gain and normalizes the max peak, you got your peak.
Mhm.
If your max peak is 0, that means the maximum is at the top. Okay, and that often pushes it up. It depends. But I quite like that fussy, describing the rules. Okay, then we've got Dwayne. So you've clearly gone for slightly comic names: Barry, Dwayne,
John, Shelley.
Okay, and so the setups here is quite nice. You've got, the mise en scène is clearly saying school. You've got notice boards. You've got people's, doors of particular kind of people and the kind of teachers at school.
For now 3 years, and it's the most rewarding thing. The respect I give the students and the respect.
Good. And so on the third, so you've got him on the third delivering an interview, and then you've got one of these incidental things happening in the background, which is really nice.
Wait, what are you doing? Get back in!
Okay, and then a dip to black, and then you come up to first aid. That's a nice establishing shot. Both of you can make this point, because this is the next thing, and so you establish he's in the first aid, and we track to him, and this is one of these kind of slightly voyeuristic shots, shooting through the door, and again, it doesn't matter that you're pulling zoom at all.
First days were always rough.
I like that you're leaving a little bit of space for him to think at the beginning.
I remember my first day at the school.
years ago.
Plaster on his head's lovely.
For like 2 hours until my mom came to find me. I know I can do this job. I just need to prove myself. You know, some people, they just have bad days, you know. People say I'm a natural leader. And
In some ways, there's a little bit at the beginning of that clip with Gabe talking.
Yeah, actually I just added these in yesterday. So
I think you might need to cut that and kind of start from that, because what you're using is an L cut here, yeah?
Yeah, that's
So,
what I'm working on.
Good.
Today.
All right, so you're going to work on that today. And so with his voiceover in the interview contextualizes his bullied experience at school.
They just have bad days, you know. People say I'm a natural leader, like exude authority. My mum's very proud of me. I know I can do this.
Good.
So I've been tasked with patrolling the perimeter of the school, just making sure everything's safe, just going around, making sure no one runs into the
Okay,
road.
and you got a nice tracking
everyone
shot here
inside.
as we're following him
You're
on
about
his
to meet the great
first
successor
shot.
of my 2003 Ford Fiesta LX.
Now this is really interesting, and I prefer it to what we had before, because you reshot this, and because you've got a little montage there. This is anti-documentary. Documentaries seldom do these kind of celebratory type montages.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to do it?
Well, we thought originally it would be alright to have just sort of the cameraman walking around the car.
Yeah.
But then we sort of changed that idea a bit later on. And I was thinking when I was doing it, it's actually a lot easier to establish his sort of pride of his car by having just
Good.
shots of that without catching him in the background.
Yes, good. And I think this is kind of, you're definitely subverting documentary convention, but the little montage immediately communicates his overwhelming pride.
Kind of like an inflating ego for his
Exactly.
car.
Perfect.
Like
Perfect. When I hear this coming back in your report in terms of your decisions, you can talk about it as part of your collaborative. You can talk about it as part of your edit.
Yeah.
Okay? But this decision to do the
I
montage,
think I've got it in collaborative
which
at the
reflects,
moment.
what was the word, his inflated ego, overinflated ego.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, because that's the meaning communicated. And it mocks him, which is what your creative intention is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going from example to meaning to creative intention. Okay, so please keep hitting those ideas. Example, meaning, creative intention. All right?
I just gotta go do something. Give me 1 second.
Okay,
Come on.
good. So here we have that lovely,
Mom, hi.
another
Look,
kind
I
of
need you to
classic
come in.
documentary technique.
I need to come
Doesn't
inside
know
you
he's
on
being
patrol.
filmed.
Yeah, no, it's a long story. I got given a position or whatever. No, please, I really need your help. But I know you're at work. Please, Mom, I really need this. Yeah, I need the position. I need to fit in. Mom?
Okay,
Mom?
that's nice bit
Mom?
of script. It needs to fit in.
Mom!
Good. And we talked about those moments before when you allow the reaction to happen in the edit. In particular, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, I've mentioned that.
Good. Okay. And here we've got another little montage. Lovely.
It's lunchtime. And not
I think that fade for Andre's too fast.
Yeah.
I think he needs to take that fade out in those montage scenes.
We have a COVID-19.
Excellent. So that's a lovely kind of take to camera, look to camera. But while they're realising that they're dawning on what a code 19 is, and then they start reacting.
Here at the Gregson Grammar School, we pride ourselves on the use of top-of-the-line technology provided to us by the PTA support to help the team stop those hooligans.
Oh, this is going to be CCTV style, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
Added the filtering, yeah.
Right, so you're going to black and white that, and we're going to add a little. It's not really in a CCTV type position.
She's
is it?
getting
I
away!
can get it in any position. Like that was the highest I could get.
I might be tempted to cut that
Okay.
because it also takes the energy out of it as well. You've got this code 19, panic,